this is a war, right? I mean, legally it's a war, or is this just an isolated military operation to protect a national interest?
Jesse, I think at this stage it's just an isolated military action. I don't think it's a war. The traditional
Really?
definition, yes, the traditional definition of a war, Jesse, is troops on the ground in a foreign nation, and we're fighting for a sustained period of time. And this is just.
But what if the president calls it a war?
He's as relates to the casualties. He says, in war there's casualties, but he hasn't gone out. He's been careful. He hasn't gone out and said, this is a war, I'm declaring a war. He's referenced a war, and so is Hegseth, but they have not said it's a war, and I don't think it is a war. I understand you can say that, but it's only been a few days. None of our troops are there. Right now, we're fighting this with missiles and airplanes and air support. I don't think it's a war. Remember, our country has resists calling things war. Congress didn't declare the Vietnam War a war. They didn't declare the Korean War a war. I'm not sure this is a war either.
I could go back and forth in that about the length of duration. If this does last weeks, if you're talking about putting military personnel at risk, okay. But whether you call it a war or you call it an isolated military operation, traditionally, the president would have had to have some authority to do this, right? A prior authorization from Congress. There's two ways to look at this, right? Prior authorization from Congress, and I don't know if you can find one there. I mean, there's talk it can go all the way back to 2001, terrorists, Al-Qaeda being harbored by Iran, I don't know. But also, after the fact, Congress would sign off on, not saying it's a war, but giving the president authority. The other way of looking at it is this is such an imminent threat, we don't have time to go to Congress. Is that what is happening here? Because on the one hand, you could say the president said they obliterated the Iran's nuclear capabilities. Wasn't the threat over? I mean, you tell me where I'm wrong.
So, Jesse, I think the strongest argument for the administration is that we're protecting the homeland. We're protecting our country. They've got long-range missiles that can hit our country. They've actually threatened to assassinate President Trump, our president. What can get more personal than that? We've got to protect the president. We've got to protect the homeland. The nuclear weapons, there's some back and forth on that, or whether they were eliminated before or not. But I think our courts on the legal question give great power to the president. This Supreme Court is given great expansive powers for the executive branch. If they make these determinations, they decide, is our country under a threat? They decide these things have to be made quickly. They need to move forward. He is the commander in chief.
But I'm not seeing the reporting that Iran was about to attack us or that they were about to attack the president. Maybe there's information we don't have at this point, but I'm not seeing this. I do have a question, though, about what would the role of Congress be? Because if you're talking about an ongoing conflict that is now involving a number of different nation states, and the casualty rate, if this continues, is just going to go up. Again, we can debate about whether or not it's a war or not. The question now is the War Powers Act, right? Congress. At this point, there are those on either side who believe that they want to stop the president from doing anything else without Congress's authorization. Where do you see the War Powers resolution ending up?
So I think Congress is going to try to flex their muscles on the War Powers Act this week, and they're going to say, some of them, primarily the Democrats, are going to say, hey, look, we're not authorizing this. You don't have our authority to have this conflict in Iran. This is a hard no from us. That vote's going to take place. I don't think enough Republicans are going to jump ship. I don't think that's going to pass. But let's say it did pass tomorrow, and they said, look, you can't have this conflict in Iran. You can't use the military. Then Trump would just veto that. And then the Republicans and Democrats would have to have 2/3 of their members to overcome that veto. And as you mentioned at the beginning, there's just no way that's going to happen. Everything in Congress is razor thin. There's no 2/3 vote for hardly anything.
What about Congress power the purse? Can they stop the funding of these operations?
I think that's their most direct power. That's their most important power that they've been reluctant to use so far. But instead of kind of going around the edges here and talking about the War Powers Act and the power to declare war versus the chief executive being in charge of the military, I think the direct power that Congress has, if they really want to assert themselves, is with the purse and to say, hey, look, we're not going to spend the money on this. We're not authorizing appropriations for this. And if you want to veto that, you can, but we're going to pass a law that says our money's not going to what's happening in Iran. We're not going to spend money, billions of dollars, about what's happening there. That's a much more direct way to deal with this problem than to debate the War Powers Act, because the War Powers Act has a lot of legal arguments for everyone that we've touched on here tonight, whereas the power of the purse is a much more direct way for Congress to address this.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.